everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Simply Santalia. And today we are going to get into part 2 of Let's Clear the Air, Sex versus Virginity. I had asked a couple of ladies to give their opinions and thoughts to add to this subject. So without further ado, we are going to get started. Thank you. Number 1. What advice would you give someone that's thinking about losing their virginity, and why?
To someone who's thinking about losing their virginity, I would encourage them to take some time to evaluate their motives. So I would ask myself some questions like, why do I want to make this decision now and with this person and at this time? Am I feeling pressured to do these things? Do I feel like I need to do these things because I've reached a certain age? I think that the concept of virginity and losing your virginity, it's a pretty big topic, and it's one that does bring about a lot of changes in your body, physically, but also just your spirit emotionally. And so I think that it needs to, I think it requires a lot of forefront before you do anything.
Hi, my name is Trina Maxwell, and I will be answering some questions that Karina has sent to me. I didn't write anything down. I wanted to get prepared, but it's been pretty busy. Okay, so her first question is, what advice would you give someone that's thinking about losing their virginity, and why? The advice that I would give someone who was thinking about losing their virginity would be not to. I do believe that your body is a temple. I do believe it's holy and that it should be saved for marriage. I am a Christian, so I definitely believe that fornication is a sin, and I would definitely just tell the person, just kind of look at themselves internally. Like, why do you want to rush to do this? What is the point? Is it because of peer pressure? Is it because maybe you have friends that are older and that are doing it and you just kind of want to experience it? So I would just kind of evaluate myself and my confidence. I would never let a guy talk me into doing something that I didn't want to do. And that would be the advice I would give on that one.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sheila. Thank you to Karina for allowing me to be a part of this conversation on Simply Santalia. So let's get started. Question number 1. What advice would you give someone that's thinking about losing their virginity, and why? Wait. And the why is from my own personal experience. Losing your virginity is a bridge that once you cross it, you can't uncross it. And even though the person that I lost my virginity to, they weren't a bad person, but I would prefer to still have that gift to give to someone special. Not that they weren't special, but they weren't
Everybody,
that
I will
special.
be doing the panel questions for panel member Brianna. So for number 1, she said, from experience, I regret some of the people I came across with sexually. The best advice is do it when you're ready. Don't let anyone pressure you into doing anything you aren't 100% ready for. Even if you are the only one in the room full of women who has lost their virginity, it does not make you less of a woman. Always use protection and be very careful with the person you are interested in. To me, the first time is very precious and should be done with someone you're really comfortable with. Panel question number 2. Why do you feel trying to stay a virgin until marriage is important? Or why don't you think it's important, and why?
So for me, protecting your virginity until marriage is something that I value and believe is important, for a few reasons. I think the first is that I see sex as a very sacred act. I also see virginity as me giving something personal to somebody else. And so in the same way that I'm not just gonna sign the rights away to my house to someone that I barely know, I'm not going to give this deeply personal thing that I've been given from God to someone just because they tell me that I'm cute at the right time. Now, easier said than done, and obviously there is no shame for those who don't choose to save their virginity till marriage, but I believe that it is an important decision to make because I think it protects you and the other person from entangling yourself in a mess that could have been avoided. if you had chosen to honor your body and honor theirs until you both were committed for the
Question
long
2,
run.
it says, why do you feel trying to stay a virgin until marriage is important, and why you think it's important? So why do I feel trying to stay a virgin is important until you get married? Well, I do believe that marriage is a covenant. I do believe that all your desires, all your fantasies will be fulfilled once you are married. I don't think that you have to kind of run around in the streets and seek guys for that, for satisfaction or for pleasure. I feel that if you're confident in yourself and you know your identity and you know exactly who you are in Christ, then you will, ultimately feel that your body is a temple and that you can
Question
wait.
number 2. Brianna says, this is a very good question. I'm very in between. I believe in staying a virgin before marriage. It gives you time to evaluate and study how people are. Making sure people aren't in it just for sex is huge for women. Staying a virgin before marriage is a beautiful thing, but I also think it's okay to have sex before marriage as long as you are practicing safe sex and you are 100% sure of the person you're going to be laying with. Panel question number 3. What is your definition of soul ties? Do you believe in soul ties after sex? If yes, then why? If no, then why?
Question 3 says, what is your definition of soul ties? Do you believe in soul ties? Definitely. I do think that there are such things as soul ties, only because I feel that once you're intimate with a person, you are kind of connected to them. So I do feel that soul ties do exist. I do feel that once you're intimate with a person and you're not married, I do feel that you have created a soul tie with this person. And I also feel that a lot of emotions get involved as well. I mean, women are way more emotional than men. So my first thought is that we become emotionally connected with this person.
Have you ever had that friend that has been with somebody and and you're like, girl, why is you dealing with him? Why is you even talking about him like that? Girl, you sound crazy. That's because they have a soul tie. Or if there's a dude that's watching this, because I've heard it from my guy friends too, about other guy friends. If there's a guy that they call it whipped. Just like, man, that girl crazy. Why you deal with her? That's because they have a soul tie and it ain't broken yet, or at least loosened. So, soul tie is just being a strong connection with a person. Do you believe in soul ties after sex? Yes. So I started off this conversation saying, soul ties can be good, they can be bad. You can have a soul tie without having sex. Those are typically the healthy ones and the good ones, because those are the ones that tend to take work to form and to maintain. The quickest way, or the cheater's way to get a soul tie, is to have sex with somebody, and typically that's when you run into, especially if no work had been put in prior, that's when you run into crazy. So, okay.
Question number 3. Brianna said, I believe soul ties are real. It's very underestimated, and a lot of people don't want to believe it's real. Rather, it's physical, mentally, or emotionally. We feel an intense urge of excitement, eagerness to explore this new person. And all of that, they are And sometimes we just can't get enough of that person, no matter what. Our soul craves them. We crave their voice or even become overly aggressive for attention. After sex, soul ties is the real. I personally experienced soul ties with someone I was sexually active with. I couldn't stop thinking about that person no matter what. I moved on. That person moved on. I still desired that person no matter what. Still to this day, it's a weird feeling that you just can't shake. Panel question number 4. What age do you feel is a good time to start having sex for the person that's not waiting?
I don't believe that there is a good time to start having sex if you're not married. I don't really see it in the same way that some people see drinking, where it's like, okay, once you're 21, you're now of age to start drinking. I see it more in the context of saying, when's a good time for me to buy a car if I don't have the money? And to that, I would say, well, there isn't a good time. Wait until you have the money requirements needed to get that car, or until you have a plan in place so that you can revel and cherish the beauty of what you want. I see sex in that sort of way, where it's like, don't put yourself in a situation that's going to bring about a lot of emotional debt or a lot of unnecessary drama or circumstances beyond your control because you chose to enter into something so holy with someone who wasn't fully committed to you, or maybe you weren't committed to them. For me, the requirement for sex is a loving, committed relationship with two people in the context of marriage.
Okay, my next question is, what age do you feel is a good time to start having sex for a person who is not waiting? Whew, that's kind of hard. That's a hard question, Karina. Because, my point is to wait until you're married before you have intimate contact or have sexual intercourse with another person. So I would just say my answer would be to that, to wait until you're
Question
married.
number 4. Where are we? What age do you feel is a good time to start having sex for the person that's not waiting? That's a difficult question to answer because people are different in their development. However, I will say, if you are blank teen, you are too young for sex. So 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, I know 18 and 19, you off in college or you an adult. You can, if you're a guy, you done signed up for the draft. You can vote. You can buy a cigarette. But yes. But no, you're still too young for sex. As far as how young or what age is a good age, like I mentioned, it depends on the individual, and it really depends on at what age are you able to deal with all of the possible consequences that could come from sex, or at what age are you old enough to protect yourself from all of the possible consequences that can come from sex. And outside of the spiritual, religious aspects of it, as far as soul ties are concerned, from a physical, economic, and socioeconomic standpoint, one of the consequences of having sex is possibly having a baby. Are you able to care for that baby? Someone told me, and this is an old number from a long time ago, that to raise a child from 0 to 18 is $100,000. You have to have at least $100,000, and this was many years ago, so I'm sure that number has gone up. I'm 40 and I ain't got that kind of money, so hence I'm not old enough to be having sex by that standard, because as a potential consequence, STDs. Can you deal with the consequences of STDs? There's a lot out there, and not everyone is an
Question
easy
number 4.
fix.
Brianna said, Personally, I feel like 21 is a good age to start experiencing sexual activities. Only if you are ready. I'm sure at this age you are aware of what sex is and wanting to know how it feels out of curiosity. You probably go on dates by now, and being 21 makes a lot of people feel grown. So they feel the need to do grown people things. Also at the age where your parents won't be hard on you if you happen to engage with a girl or a guy. Panel question number 5. How do you deal with stereotypes when it comes to sex if you do decide to have it? For example, slut shaming or people saying men won't respect you as much if you don't wait till marriage.
When it comes to stereotypes, my best advice is don't listen to them. And I know that's easier said than done, but I think what you have to do is turn down the voice of negativity and turn up the voice of truth. And people have a lot of things to say about other people. So whether you've been slut shamed because people know of who you've slept with, you're not defined by that. And whether you've been called a bunch of weird names because you haven't slept with anyone, you're not defined by that either. As a believer in Jesus Christ, I don't believe that we are defined by our actions or inactions. I believe we are defined by our identity in Christ. And my God tells me that I am a daughter of the one true King. And I believe that he says the same about you, that you are a daughter of the King and you are a son of the King. And it doesn't matter what you have or haven't done. It matters how you find yourself in him. So if you're dealing with stereotypes, I would say turn down the noise, stop listening so much to what other people have to say about you, and start paying more attention to what God has to say about you.
Okay. And then, okay, question 5 just kind of goes into this about stereotypes. Like I said before, it all depends on your confidence level. It depends on what your identity is and who you are in Christ. So you don't ever have to deal or give in, I should say, to peer pressure, because peer pressure definitely exists. So I wouldn't like give into it. Like everybody else is doing it. Why am I not doing it? What does it feel like? Of course, those questions are going to arise, especially in teenagers. But my thought would be, don't let someone calling you a name, calling you a virgin, or trying to bully you or tease you, kind of ruin your reputation or ruin your thought process towards it. Be an individual, be a leader and not a follower.
Question number 5. This why it is so important to make sure you are not pressured into sex. Some women may have sex with multiple guys and see nothing wrong with it. I believe practicing safe sex during any sexual intercourse is okay, as long as you're okay with the decision you're making. If you are having sex and have no regrets, then slut shaming should not offend you. You're a woman. What you do with your body is what you do. Just be very careful on the people you're with. It can be a blessing and curse. My advice, don't let a man determine how you live your life, whether you're a virgin or have had sex before. You're human. It happens, and you are not perfect by far. You're human, and it happens, and we are not perfect by far. We live and learn. Panel question number 6. How long should a woman make a man wait if she's sexually active?
If you're a woman and you are or have been sexually active and you're wondering how long should you make a man wait and to let him have sex with you, my advice would be make him wait until he puts a ring on that finger, walks you down that aisle, and says, "I do," in front of all of his friends and family and your friends and family. because to me that is such a demonstration of worth and how he sees you, by saying, I'm willing to give my life and everything that I have to you. And so in front of everyone, I'm gonna let them know. And then yes, later tonight I will let you know how much I love you by doing some other stuff. But to me, I think that that is the requirement. Girl, let him show you how much you are worth it to him, and then let him have the goods.
Okay, the next question is, how long should a woman make a man wait if she's sexually active? If she's already sexually active, I think it just depends on the person. It depends on their emotional status, as far as do they get connected quickly with the person, or do they, do it and then not even think about the person? I don't know. That's kind of a hard
Round
question
two and
too.
question 5. And yes, my drink right there in case I have to spill some tea. So on me. So now question 5. Question 6. How long should a woman make a man wait if she's sexually active? Until he put a ring on it. No. If she's sexually active, I think Steve Harvey said 90 days. But as women, if you're going to be sexually active, why is it predicated on what a man thinks? When do you want to give him some? That's how long you have him wait if you're going to be sexually active.
Panel question number 6. Brianna says, I feel like a good 3 months is a good time, just to feel the person out and see where their head space is. Could be a little longer, but temptation creeps its way up sometimes, and it's hard not to get caught in the moment a lot sooner than 3 months. But 3 through 1 month tops.
Number 7. Can you be a virgin and still have oral sex? Why or why not?
Ooh. Okay, the next question says, can you be a virgin and still have oral sex? Why or why not? I would say, dang, Karina. Okay. Maybe I should have read these questions before. Can you still have oral sex? I would say no, because I still feel that any type of sexual contact, any type of intimacy with another person can ultimately lead to sex. So my first thought is I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't even put myself in that position where your feelings get, you get all hot and steamy, and then you're like, I kind of want to, or there's just so many different situations you can get into with that. So I'm going to say, don't do it.
I think that oral sex is a part of sex. Hence the reason sex is in the name. Not because of that, but also because of the act and everything as well. So I do still believe that having oral sex is still sex. Now, as far as the physical technicality of it, maybe technically you could still be a virgin, but as far as emotionally, are you... Yeah, it is a very grayish area, oral sex. So, again, it depends on your convictions. And as that sister said in Bible class at Michigan State University, woo, greatest school in the nation, holding hands can lead to making babies.
Panel question number 7. Brianna says, yes, you can still be a virgin. I have always believed penetration with a penis is when you're technically not a virgin anymore.
Question number 8. If someone is raped and their virginity is taken and they feel like there is no reason to wait anymore, what would you tell them?
For those who have been raped and are questioning how they want to move forward in their sex life, I would first say, I'm so sorry that that has happened to you. That is a grievous wrong, and it should never have occurred. And I know that words don't mean that much when you've gone through a situation like this, but I could not say anything else without first saying, I'm sorry, and that shouldn't have happened. In addition to that, it doesn't define who you are or the story that God is going to write in you. But I would encourage that person, if they're thinking about having sex or don't know what to do outside of the context of marriage, I would encourage them to talk to a counselor or a pastor before doing anything else. I think that that would be the best thing to do, just to get another person's perspective on the healing that needs to occur internally and externally.
If someone is raped and their virginity is taken and they feel there is no reason to wait anymore, what should you tell them? I would definitely tell them, that, I feel that they still should wait, because it's a difference between consent and non-consent. So when I think about the word rape, I'm thinking there's no consent. So there's no intimacy. And I do believe that making love to your husband is very intimate. I feel that you're given consent, and then it's always better. In rape situations, I just feel that everything was kind of taken away, and of course, you can always redeem yourself, always, because it wasn't your fault. Things happen, and I just would hope that the young lady would press through and just know that life will get better, and that she still has great choices to make.
Number 8, Brianna says, I would tell them to possibly seek counseling and pray. I would push for them to wait for as long as they need to. They have to heal their heart, mind, and soul. I would let them know they have every reason to wait. Don't become easily accessible to any man or woman just because you were raped. This does not make you less of a woman. God will handle that situation. Work on healing, and when you become open and find someone that you desire to become sexual with, then do so. This is definitely something to get help on, whether it's from a counselor, close friend, or family.
Panel question number 9. If you could go back, would you have waited?
If you could go back, would you have waited? Yes. Yes, definitely. Knowing what I know now and what I have been through in my life, it's kind of like, where was I as far as thinking that I had to be with this man in order for him to love me? My situation, not to get too personal, was a little bit different. I had friends that were older than me. Everybody was like doing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like the last one. And it took a very long, super long time for me to be sexually active. I did, and then I didn't like it. And I was just like, I'm definitely going to wait till I got married. And I did. So that's good to know.
Okay, number 9. If you could go back, would you have waited? Told you had to get the drink. I think I actually answered that question in number 1. So yes, I would have waited.
Panel question number 9. Brianna says, no, I'm okay with sex before marriage for myself. More than anything, I pay attention to anyone I'm dealing with before any sexual intercourse.
Question number 10. Was waiting until marriage worth it in your opinion? And what advice would you give someone that feels they'll be waiting forever?
Number 10, and I think I already answered that question too. Was waiting until marriage worth it in your opinion? And what advice would you give someone that feels like they'll be waiting forever? Well, I'm not married. I already told you that. I'm 40. And what advice would I give someone that feels like they'll be waiting forever? I don't know. Who answered that question? I need to find out who answered that question, because even though I didn't wait, I'm waiting now. So I need the answer to that question. Hold on. I need to look at these videos.
Panel question number 10. Brianna says, I personally had sex before marriage, and my advice to you, don't rush into having sex. Just because other people are having sex, you waiting only means you really want the right man to have all of you, and the only person who has had you. Don't feel bad or guilt. Give yourself time to date and explore. You will feel even better about being a virgin, because if you and the person you were to date did not work out, he or she really doesn't have anything on you or to talk about to his homies or friends about if they are mad. Protecting yourself is the best thing you can do for yourself. This also gives you more time to understand yourself as a
Question
woman.
number 11. If there is anything you would like to add or share that can help people thinking about this, please share with the viewers.
My final word would be, it is okay to talk about sex. We don't have to get so awkward or feel so much shame when we're talking about something as beautiful and sacred as sex. So it's okay, girl or boy, talk about it with those that are older than you, wiser than you, people that you love, know, trust, and respect. Let's be informed, let's be open and honest, and let's not allow shame to take something so beautiful and make it something that we feel really weird about.
Thing you would like to add or share? Yeah, I would just say, kind of stay around people who are positive. Stay around people who want the same, who are looking for the same thing as you. If they want to stay virgins till they're married, that is probably kind of a good person to hang around, because they'll have your same view. It's just like with anything. If you have a person that wants to drink and you don't want to drink, you just don't want to feel pressured into anything at any time. I always teach my girls to be a leader and not a follower. No, you make the rules. You make them follow you. Versus them making the rules and you're just following what they do. No, you're going to stand for something. So I'm just going to end with saying thank you, Karina. I think this is great what you're doing to help all the girls, all the youth, all the teenagers, and even people that are my age. Yes. So thank you again. And I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.
Okay, number 11. If there is anything you would like to add or share that can help people thinking about this, please share with viewers. So to wrap it up, if you're going to be sexually active, like I mentioned earlier, sex has consequences. So make sure that you're taking the precautions to minimize those possible complications. So again, wrap it up, and then make sure also that you're mature enough and old enough to deal with those consequences if they should occur. And to even go back further, losing your virginity is a bridge that once you cross it, you can't uncross it. So in speaking with various individuals, it is, I've heard people say, I wish I would have never slept with him, me included. But I've never heard anyone say, I wish I would have slept with him. So, and I'm sure if you would speak to individuals, they would probably tell you the same thing. So if you're waiting, continue to wait. And if you're not waiting, just be responsible. Thanks again. Bye.
Panel question number 11. Brianna says, yes, time is precious. Your time is valuable. Don't rush into anything just for a good time. Know your worth, and God will open the doors for those that will do good by you, Queen.
Thank you everyone for watching my channel, and a special thanks to the beautiful ladies that took time out of their busy schedules to provide knowledge and their views and opinions for you all today. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And like always, if you have any questions, concerns, you can always DM me on Instagram at Karina_Dabney. Everything that's said between us is always and will forever be confidential. Thank you and have a blessed day, and see you all next time. Bye.